powerful people, and welcome back to my channel, Purple RX. I'm Renata, your friendly and resourceful PharmD, here to give you a little insight on this, to help you grasp this vast health and wellness world with all this information so that you can look at it from a more holistic perspective to see you and what does it. While you're here, how about you like, share, subscribe, leave your comments, because that engagement, it helps me to see what you guys like, to see what you need, and it also helps this get to other people. So today we're going to take a little adventure. We're going to do a little something different. We are going to talk about how to choose like what over the counter or what you may need for you. So in this situation, we're going to be talking about like minor scrapes, minor cuts. Say you cut your finger just a little bit while you're cooking, or on a paper cut. We're going to see, how do I go there? There's 50,000 choices at the drugstore at CVS. There's so many choices to pick. How do you pick which one's right for you? How do you know? What does this mean and what does that mean? We're going to go over a little bit of that today. And I'll probably even show you a more natural way to actually heal that cut if you have something in your home, or if you don't have it in your home, or if you are already a person who's of natural medicine, some other options. Okay? So I hope you guys strap up. I don't know why I said strap up. That doesn't sound right. Get ready and let's go. So we've made it to your local corner store, whatever, CVS, Walgreens, whatever place you go to, grocery store, and let's go in and see, how are we going to look at this? How can we look at it? How can we pick it? What's for us? Let's go. So these are all the choices you have. Every single choice. That's a lot of choices. So let's look. How do I decide? How do I figure out which one should I pick? Well, Neosporin has probably been the most popular for everybody. And it could be the most expensive. But most people know Neosporin. They know what it's about. So Neosporin, triple antibiotic ointment, those are all the same thing. See? Let's see. See? There you go, Neosporin and triple antibiotic ointment. Same exact thing. The same three major ingredients, which you're going to get are bacitracin, neomycin, and polymyxin. And some of them now have a pain reliever in it. So to stop the itch or stop the pain or to reduce that, they usually add pramoxine in it, which is going to be in the steroid family. Or they might do hydrocortisone, which would be in the steroid family. And all of those do is prevent any kind of infection from 3 different classes of antibiotics. All you're doing is preventing the infection. Now, everybody gets that, get it. But there's ointments. That's an ointment, that's an ointment, that's an ointment, that's an ointment. There's now dual action. And that's a cream. So now that we have a cream, let's look at the difference. There's creams. There's packs. They're just packaging it up very differently. There's ointments. The only one that might be new is because everybody is looking for so little ingredients. This one. This one only has 3 ingredients, which it has. Look at your back. Your active ingredients. Your active ingredients. Oh, it won't focus, but there it goes. Your active ingredients are going to be the bacitracin and the polymyxin. The only other additive ingredient you're going to have in here, it looks like it's not saying it, but it's just going to be petrolatum. There it goes. The inactive ingredient. Petrolatum. Or Vaseline, whatever you want to call it. So that's an 3 ingredient one. You're still getting what you need. So the point of here is, do you want ointment? Do you want cream? Do you need triple antibiotics? Or do you need 1 antibiotic? Because with things like polysporin, which only just has bacitracin and polymyxin B, because maybe you're allergic to neomycin, because you never know what your allergies are, what some people are allergic to. So these are other options. So don't ever look at it like it's stressed out or there's too many options. After this, we're going to go home and talk about the difference between an ointment and a cream and a lotion and what's going to work better for you. There's also this isn't new actually, it's been around for a while. It's just been in another thing called Meta Honey. There's wound gels, and then you'll also find wound honey. So you do have choices, and they're all going to be different, but this is where you find out what is needed for you. Then there's tea tree oil, because everybody wants to now get into the natural community. There's also silver wound gel patches, lidocaine wound gel, Caroxin, burn gel, allocaine. These are more of your natural remedies for burns. So after this, we're going to go home, talk about it, and look at these pictures and look at to see what are my options and why do I need ointment or why do I need cream? Which one is better? It's all based on your circumstance and your situation. So if you didn't hear that, now we can go home and talk about it and see which one do I need? Do I want an ointment? Do I want a cream? Do I want a gel? Do I want something that's natural? If I want something that's natural that's here, what are my options? So let's go back and look. Okay, so we're back. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about which one works best. What's for you? Let's go check it out. So we're back. So you go to the store, you look at all those options. What do you choose? What can you decide? What do you need to look for? Well, first and foremost, when you're looking for something and you're thinking about just your little scrape, a little cut, your kid comes in, oh, I scraped my knee. All those are little things that you think about. So the things that you're looking at is triple antibiotic ointment most of the time, or bacitracin or polysporin, and most of those are going to have antibiotics in them. So in triple antibiotic ointment, you have bacitracin, polymyxin B, and neomycin. And those are all the antibiotics that are in there. So what if you're allergic to those? Then there's also an option to get bacitracin only, or there's the option to get polysporin, which has bacitracin and polymyxin B. Now, if you don't want to use any of those at all, you do have other options. I'm going to get into those right quick. But first, you also want to look at when you're looking at that store, well, they have oil, they have cream, they have ointment, they have lotions, they have gels. What's the point in all this? So when you look at it, ointments are really mainly oil-based. It's what is called like white petrolatum, which you find in Vaseline and those products. And what they do is they give you an occlusive effect. They allow the cut to have a barrier from the outside so nothing can really get in, and it keeps the moisture in so that all the medication and all the antibiotic from the bacitracin, the polysporin, and the neomycin or whatever one that you decide can actually get into the cut and give it time to heal. So whether you put a Band-Aid on it or not, it's still covered and it's still actually protected from outside environment. Even washing your hands, it would take soap to actually get it off. So it allows like I said, it allows the drug to get in, and it allows your skin to stay protected. And even if if you have dry skin, it's going to be a better option. Now, what about creams? Creams are half oil and half water. So if you have half oil, half water, it gives you that still a little bit of a moisturizing effect, but not too much. And it'll still allow the product to go in, get into the skin and protect it a little bit, but not as much but it'll absorb easily into the skin because the moisture in the water, because your skin loves water, excuse me. So it's going to be a little bit more easily absorbed, but the oil is going to help the actual product stay in place and stay in that. Now, when you think about a lotion or you think about a gel, those are mainly water-based. And in those water-based, you're going to get something that's very moisturizing. Lotions sometimes tend to have alcohol in it, so you want to be careful of that in any cut, because alcohol, yes, it's great, but alcohol can be drying. And it can actually take out the moisture and some of the things that are needed for that cut, scrape, however it is. And so those are great more so for if you have oily skin and you want to keep it dry, but alcohol can dry you out and make more oil come up because your skin is naturally like, oh, you're taking the oil away, so I need to replace the oil. That's what your actual glands actually do. Not sweat glands, what is it? Sebum. That's what your oil glands are going to end up doing, is being like, oh, I need to produce more oil once you take it away with alcohol and dry it out. So those are things that you have to worry about with those things. And you also have to look at signs. Most of the time, these are to prevent infection. So preventing that swelling and that pain and that drainage and that redness. Something that you'll also see in some of these brands when it says anti-itch and anti-pain, because a lot of us, when we get scrapes and scratches, after a while, the healing process, within the healing process, it's going to start to itch. And it's going to start to itch because those scabs are being made, skin is being tensioned, things are going on within that to actually heal that. So with that, you're going to want to itch that. You're going to want to scratch it. People scratch off scabs because sometimes they feel a kind of way and they itch. And they feel the stretching and the itching and the new skin that's producing. So a lot of times they'll add pramoxine in there, and that'll help with the itch as well as helping with the minor pain that it's going to come with. But a lot of times antibiotics will help with the pain because the immediate action is going to help prevent and take away the active bacteria and the active thing that is actually causing a little bit of pain in the cut and the pain. So you don't want to do any of that? That's up to you. You can go to the store, you can find that, or you can find natural products within your home. So you have options at home. If you're one of those people that has certain plants, that likes to be natural and likes to not really go to the store or go over the counter, you have some of the products at home. So tea tree oil. Tea tree oil is one great product that I know, I'm not going to say I know, but I think a lot of people probably have in their home right now. Tea tree oil is great. It helps heals. It helps quickly. It has antimicrobial and antifungal effects. And it's sometimes, it was actually done in a study where it was compared to a control group with conventional antibiotics, and it is shown to be a little bit more effective than that and actually heal the cut faster. So you also can find things if you go to the store and you want to find that option at the store and you don't feel like you don't have it at home, but you want to keep this at your house. Derma E tea tree is something that you can have, or E antiseptic cream. And those allow to put the tea tree in a cream form so that it can actually cover and be within your actual cut. And you don't have to worry about just spreading the oil on multiple times a day. But most of the time when you're treating cuts, you want to at least treat that with with bacitracin or anything at least once to twice a day. I would suggest twice a day. Next, you have aloe. Aloe is one of my favorite plants. It's very hydrating. It's very antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, and antiviral. It has all those effects, and it decreases the effects of histamine. So those are all great things within a cut, within a minor scrape. It is like a miracle burn cream. My mom used to have an aloe vera plant in the house, and she would cut it and put it on our scrapes and our burns. And it was something that was highly effective, and it worked actually pretty fast, and sometimes faster than other things. It's just we got into something that we wanted quickly. But aloe vera is very effective, and it comes out like a gel. So it's going to be a water-based, but it's also going to be a little bit thicker to allow it to stay within that wound and within that cut. And all that cut has to do is be covered after you put that on. Another option, honey. Honey is also a great option in order to heal those minor scrapes, those minor burns, those minor cuts that you see. It is great. It is great for wound healing, but I'm not talking about the honey that you have in your house with a little honey bear or little honey bee, or even manuka honey, because those honeys actually are going to have pollen and a little bit of bacteria in it. That's why when you get the local honey, it helps you with the pollen and the allergies and anything that comes in, because it's actually got that pollen in there and it hasn't been quite sterilized or any microbes, anything removed. You're actually given those microbes so that it can help you fight sometimes that pollen and that seasonal allergy. So you don't want to try any over the counter and slather it on your body. Don't slather it on your body. You can eat it because it is food grade, but it is not medical grade for a cut, to make sure that there's no infection or any other bacteria, or you won't be putting anything in your wound that'll make it worse. So something you want to try, and I've seen on the counter, is Meta Honey. Meta Honey is a great one. There's a few other options that are like wound healing, and they'll say honey on it, but Meta Honey is really only one product, and it's the honey that's basically been sterilized, and which is basically put in a clean room with a little light to move any bacteria from it. So next, another at-home remedy, you're going to check out peppermint and cinnamon. So that combination, there was an actual study, the American Chemical Society did a study, and they actually put some peppermint and cinnamon, peppermint oil and cinnamon in some capsules, and they had some volunteers, and they put it on their little minor cuts and scrapes. And when they applied it, it actually, the combo helps to kill 4 different types of bacteria, including an antibiotic resistant bacteria. So, and it helped even with infected cuts to reduce the infection and heal that cut, and actually did it in a very short and quick time. Other options that you may have are lavender, chamomile. So if you have any of these things in your house, maybe you want to consider those things rather than going to the store and choosing between all of those options. And having a little Vaseline at home does not hurt. Vaseline will allow you to put a little occlusiveness on the wound. So you could even put a little tea tree oil, or put a little tea tree oil on, and maybe put a little ointment on if that's a dry area or that has a little something, in order to allow the drug or the active ingredient to actually get into the cut, the scrape, the burn, or whatever you're dealing with. So before we even do any treatment, something I want to remind you is, after you get a cut, after you get a scrape, after anything happens, always clean the wound. First, I would say clean it with soap and water. Alcohol, yes, that's great, but it can also be drying to the area. But always clean it with soap and water so that you can make sure to get the bacteria and anything else off, and actually clean out the wound, because sometimes it starts to ooze. So a little bit of soap and water is going to help to clean that area. If it's been a burn, you want some cold water. You want cool water, nothing hot, because you do not want to excess or make that any. You want to cool things down. So you want to cool the area, whether it's a cut or a scrape, cool that area. Maybe even put a little ice on it if it's a burn. Then apply your product. Or you can use a little alcohol. Hydrogen peroxide is great for cleaning if you have hydrogen peroxide in your house. It doesn't hurt as much as alcohol. It doesn't really hurt that much. It might bubble up, but not really too much hurting compared to alcohol, because that alcohol can burn. So then you want to apply any other product before, and apply it probably once to twice a day. So these are just small things. These are things that you're going to encounter at the store. These are things that maybe you don't want to ask the pharmacist because you should know, but here's just some little information and little tidbits that maybe you can think about when you're looking at products and saying, why do I need 10 different products? Well, because ointment is different than cream, than a different than a lotion, and that can be important when you're treating that wound. So, like I always say, if you don't know, we won't grow. So I thank you guys for your time, for listening to me, for taking a little adventure with me. I know I forgot to bring y'all back because I actually ran a few errands, but it's all good. Remember, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and see you guys next time.